Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Players Code Talks Wrestling. No, I'm not gonna do the Road Dog, the New Age Outlaws entrance this week. I'm gonna do it randomly, just because I feel like it and I like it. But welcome back. This is the week of May 12th, 2014. So covering Raw, covering SmackDown. Kind of SmackDown. I say kind of because really, with the roster leaving for the overseas tour in Glasgow, I believe. Um, SmackDown really wasn't a lot going on SmackDown. So I will cover what happened, but it's not going to get a lot of showtime. Obviously, like a lot of times, we focus on Raw, where now that the brand split is over, who knows how long that'll last. But now the brand split's over, Raw is kind of the marquee show again. I know I didn't do it last week. I put up the title card, but I didn't actually say it. Spoiler or not spoiler warning, but warning. We talk about the show. We talk about the wrestling business outside of kayfabe, which means we treat it. Um, we talk about it in a very real sense. Not that it's real, but we talk about it in a real sense. We talk about it as a business, not as much as fiction or as a story. We talk about the stories, but we don't treat them as um, actual fact. It's hard to explain without actually saying what I want to say. But so if you don't know what kayfabe is, I'd probably just stop the show. So we open up Raw with a Raw recap of the Shield. We get a Raw recap. And the Shield opens up in the ring. They're calling out Evolution, saying we're gonna hunt them down. We're gonna beat the shit out of them pretty much because they left the Shield laying last week. Reigns got particularly fucked up. The Evolution limo arrives. After that, the Shield go run and kick the living shit out of them, but get pulled off by security. Triple H, Triple H stand there signing some form of papers just long enough for the Shield to get there and surprise them. You would think they'd have a TV in their limo, maybe, so he could watch the opening of the show, but no, fuck that. So after that, we get RVD versus Jack Swagger. Swagger and Zebra in the ring doing the whole deportation list, and they've added Adam Rose to that. So apparently we're getting a Swagger Rose feud. We really are getting that. Adam Rose comes to the ring, does his thing, distracts Swagger, and RVD literally squashes Swagger in about 10 seconds. Because you get a lot of the deportation, they do a lot of talking. Rose comes out, the match starts, and Swagger basically gets hit right away, and then 5-star frog splashed, and the match is over. So we're getting a Swagger Rose feud. And a lot of people are saying Adam Rose has kind of fallen flat. I don't know whose fault that is. I don't know if that's creative's fault for not writing it better. I don't know if it's his fault for not quite capturing the fans the way people thought he would. Because he's people like him in NXT, but the thing about the NXT crowd is they like everything in NXT. They're very much the crowd is very much about helping guys get over. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Obviously, he's in a feud, but I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. I personally like Adam Rose. The guy, like I said, we need kind of the funnier gimmicks to help balance out a lot of the seriousness we've got going on, but not as dumb as Fandango. But I think we get to him actually. He's on this show. Fuck. All right, up next, Paige and Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox is getting a big heel push. She comes out. They're kind of playing up the anti diva thing Paige did in NXT, where Alicia Fox is like, "You don't belong here. Look at you. You're pale and you're I don't know how they could possibly in any dimension say that Paige isn't hot, but like you don't belong here. So why don't you leave?" So Alicia Fox like hits her with a microphone and jumps on her and beats the shit out of her for a good minute or two. The ref finally separated. Now the match hasn't started yet at this point. So Alicia Fox jumps Paige before the match starts, and like she's really getting into this heel thing she's got going on. Basically, Alicia Fox is dominant the whole match simply because, and they're playing up Paige was jumped before the match started. So, and I complained about this a couple weeks ago when Sheamus was fighting Titus O'Neil, and Titus jumped Sheamus and beat the shit out of him, and then Sheamus hit the bro kick out of fucking nowhere once the match actually started. Now this was a little different because they actually had the match still. This is where Sheamus basically squashed Titus with the brogue kick. So, but yeah, so Alicia Fox is pretty much in command the entire match after the cheap shots at the beginning, but she puts Paige in a headlock, and Paige hits the Page Turner out of that and pulls off the win. So, like I said, they use the cheap shot to justify Paige looking weak through the whole match, but then still pulling it out at the end. Which you know how I feel about that. If you're gonna look strong, look strong. If you're gonna have them get jumped, you could probably have them eat a pin. It's not that big of a deal. But at this early in Paige's reign, like Sheamus is established when I compare it to that. Sheamus is an established guy. Paige is still very early on in her title reign as Divas champion. I think eating a pin to Alicia Fox at this point would not be very good. So, and then Alicia Fox proceeds to absolutely lose her shit after losing this match. She is rocking around, slapping people. She's fucking wrecking the announce table. She's just screaming at the fans. She steals JBL's hat, which was weird. A weird contrast for the end of this bitch fit that she has. But she absolutely loses her shit. And she did it again the next night on main event when she lost to Emma. Did she lose to Emma? She lost to Emma. And she fucking lost her shit again, and it was so she's rolling with the crazy gimmick since AJ Lee is apparently gone and can't do it anymore. Can't we just have a normal heel diva without having them be insane? I mean, I get it, but whatever. Next up, the sad news, and I would hopefully have some updates, but I don't. Daniel Bryan comes out and addresses the fans and he has to have neck surgery. Basically what's happened is a lot of there's pressure being put on nerves in his neck, and it's causing him, I guess, weakness in his hands and his arms, which is a scary thought. A lot of people blame the headbutt. A lot of people blame his just style of wrestling. But so there's that. So he comes out and says he's gonna have to have neck surgery and he'll have to step away. Speculation was that hopefully he'll only be gone a couple weeks. There was no I will get to this a little bit later. Something did happen with Stephanie McMahon in regards to Daniel Bryan, but there was some hokiness. There was some. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? There was some. Whatever. They talk about it later on the show. I'll get there. But I said at this point in the show, don't know what it means for the titles, if he's going to be stripped or not. Now, they did come out and say, I will actually cover this now since we're talking about it. There we go. Stephanie McMahon. So this is a little bit later in the show. She comes out and basically says, Daniel Bryan, we knew all along that he wasn't the A+ player that we needed him to be to carry the titles, and this just proves it. So she actually asks him to come out to the ring, most likely I would assume to strip him of the belts. And then Kane's music hits, and Kane drags a motionless, beaten Bryan onto the stage. Then they have Bryan put him on a stretcher and cart him out. Brie basically tells Stephanie to stay the fuck away from them, in less words. And Stephanie just looks shocked and continues to put on the facade that, oh my god, this is horrible, I'm so sorry. So, and then they come out and say that there will be an announcement on Monday about the state of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So they basically wanted to wait until after Bryan had his surgery on Thursday to see if they could get a timetable for his return and whether or not they're going to have to strip him of the belts. I hope they don't. Although they could turn it into a pretty good story where they, declare an interim champion and then Bryan gets to be the underdog all over again. And that angle paid off really well for the WWE. So we'll see how that goes. Next up, we got John Cena and the Usos versus the Wyatt family. We got a rematch from SmackDown. Luke Harper's a creepy motherfucker. He was in the ring a lot, and they focused on his stare, just the weird thing he does with his eyes, a lot, and it was creeping me out. Not a bad match. The Wyatt was in control the whole time, and the Usos did almost all the work. Cena really only came in at the end to clean up. It was Jimmy and Jay doing most of the work against the Wyatts, and then Cena got the hot tag and came in and hit the adjustment on Rowan and picked up the pin. So it was an okay match. I like the Usos and I like the Wyatt family, and I'm not gonna hate on John Cena. It was just very predictable when he didn't get tagged in the middle of the match at all, that he was gonna come in and finish it all off. So it was just an okay match. Evolution hits the ring, and oh yeah, that's right. In the top of the show, Evolution, the Shields are like, we need to prove, we need to finish off Evolution. We need to destroy them. So we want a rematch at Payback. And it was really funny because then Triple H comes out at this point in the show and says, "You guys want a rematch for the match you've already won." It was really funny. It's kind of like he even kind of poked fun at the writing. Batista's still here. A lot of people said he was gone. He was going to be gone for Galaxy stuff, Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, but he's still here. So yeah, we're gonna get Shield and Evolution 2 at Payback. They're really kind of pushing Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is starting to get the push. During his promo with the Shield, they passed the mic to him and said, "You're gonna believe in the Shield, and I'm gonna make you believe in me." And then Evolution's promo, they said, "Roman, we're gonna make an example out of you. We're gonna take our time with you." So they're starting to kind of push Roman Reigns to the front of the Shield and saying, "This is our guy. This is who we're gonna turn into the mega star, hopefully." And they better fucking find something for Ambrose and Seth Rollins to do because those guys are incredible, and all three of them together are still just amazing. So, oh yeah, Shield jumps Evolution in the ring and clears them out. Not a lot of, just more or less a couple punches and then rolling out. And then it ends up being Batista versus Reigns for the main event of the show. Next up, you got Nikki Bella versus Natalya. This came out of something because on Total Divas, apparently Natalya painted a picture of Brie. Is it Brie? No, Nikki. Sorry, Natalya painted a picture of Nikki and John Cena, and it wasn't a great painting, but they played it up as a very nice gesture, and Nikki apparently just shit on it. Why I'm explaining this to you, I don't know. This match wasn't that great. It wasn't like bad. It just wasn't great. It was dumb. The Total Divas thing is just kind of, it's, I don't know. It's dumb. I'm sorry, it's dumb. I don't like reality TV anyway, but like think about this. Think about this. These women are in the same division. Now, granted, I will say that they've changed the name. They're not divas anymore. It's not the women's championship. It's the divas title and all this shit. And they're called divas now. But these are the same people who wrestle for pretty much the same title that was held by women who could actually wrestle. Lita, Trish Stratus, Chyna, hell, Jacqueline could wrestle. Ivory, Victoria. They weren't, some of those names weren't great, but they could go at least well enough to put on a decent match. Whereas you got the divas, who a good majority of them can't. Really, Alicia Fox is pretty good. Paige, Brie Bella and Nikki Bella aren't too bad. Natalya's okay. But that's the thing. It's like there's a hand. Oh, Naomi's not too bad either. But there's a handful of divas that can actually wrestle a decent match. And I hate the exploitation. I guess we have these hot women. We might as well use them. And I hate that. Not to say that I am a white knight of any type when it comes to defense of women or anything like that. But it cheapens the product, I guess. I don't know. I'm going on too long about this. It was a bathroom break match anyway. I really shouldn't know why I'm fucking talking about it. Curtis Axel and Sheamus. Now, actually, this match, funny enough, we didn't know who he was gonna fight. It wasn't. There was no build up to it. It was Rybaxel comes out, Sheamus comes out. Rybaxel flips a coin to decide which one of them is going to fight Sheamus. They're kind of doing a little shtick almost, where it's like they both got the hats on, they both have a coin, they flip the coin. It's kind of a funny little thing. I don't know. I kind of like it. It kind of adds to Rybaxel because they need a thing. They don't have a thing. They're good. They're not a bad tag team, but and they seem to have lost their tag push because, and I harp on this again, we were gonna have Rybaxel versus the Usos for the tag titles at Extreme Rules. The match was cut with no explanation, no reasoning. They didn't play up that one of the Usos was injured. They just kind of dropped it. And then now you got John Cena teaming with the Usos 2 shows in a row, and Rybaxel jobbing to Sheamus. Both of the members, I'll get to that, but jobbing to Sheamus. It was just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, did they just piss somebody off? Did they decide that it just the rivalry with the Usos just wasn't going anywhere? Because now the Usos just have the tag belts and nothing to do with them, because there's no other tag teams. The Rhodes brothers are going south. Rybaxel's apparently done in the hunt for the tag titles, at least for now. So really, those tag belts aren't doing anything. And I really hate when a title, especially something like that, like, the mid-card belts are one thing, but the tag titles shouldn't be sitting dormant. Like, there should be something going on. I don't know. Hopefully the Ascension will come up soon and can handle that. But they've been down in NXT a long time because they've been tag champs for a while. So we'll see. Oh, news. Sorry, we interrupt this broadcast and bring you breaking news. For those of you who know anything about Japanese wrestling, NJ, the New Japan Pro Wrestling, Prince Devitt has signed with the WWE. I hope I say his last name right. I'm not sure. But Prince Devitt has signed with the WWE. He will be reporting to developmental in August, where he'll probably spend a couple months and then start to make his move up the roster. Very excited. I've watched a lot of his stuff on YouTube, and I love the paint gimmick, the paint, the body paint that he does. I'm very excited for this guy. I really hope he turns into something big. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. So yeah, Axel taps to the clover leaf, and then Ryback jumps in and smacks Sheamus. So now Sheamus and Ryback are going to have a match. So Sheamus is wrestling twice. He has a match with Axel. Granted, it was a shorter match, but he has a match with Ryback, and this match was actually pretty good. I liked the match with Ryback. It was just basically 2 very powerful physical guys battling it out. Those matches, those are some of the matches that WWE seems to be best equipped for. And Ryback and Sheamus especially are 2 guys that are great for it. So, good match. Sheamus looked strong, but he didn't look super Sheamus strong. Like, he didn't easily defeat these guys. Curtis Axel gave him a little bit, and then Ryback gave him a lot of offense and actually made a good show out of it. And so he looked strong. Sheamus looked strong, but not at the expense of Ryback and Axel. Granted, he did beat 2 guys in a row, but it didn't feel like super Sheamus to me. It felt decent. So after that, we get the Stephanie McMahon thing. And after this, Dolph Ziggler versus Fandango. Kill me now. Fandango comes out with Layla. Layla's hot. I will give you that. So, oh yeah. I said no better example of how bad the commentary team is right now than this match. It is literally just those 3 guys, JBL, King, and Cole, talking absolute bullshit nonsense while this match is going on. It's like they don't care. And and that's the thing, it shows. Like, it shows when whoever in the back isn't giving them something to say, or whoever in the back is giving them something to say, but they just don't care. Like, the people in the back, the commentators, they didn't care about this match. This was just a time filler. And that sucks, because I like Dolph Ziggler. The more I've watched, the more I've liked him. He's an athletic guy, strong, he's got a good look. Obviously the fans like him, but it's just one of those things where people in the back just aren't into it, and they put these guys out there literally just to fill time. It was bad. It wasn't a terrible match, but Dolph pulls off a zigzag while Fandango was distracted by Layla, who got tied up into the apron. Her foot like slipped down underneath the apron. She was on the apron, slipped down underneath where the cover was, and because apparently you can't get your foot out of that on your own. Dongo gets distracted. Dolph hits the zigzag. And then at the end, Fandango confesses his love for Layla. Ugh. I'm done. The guy has no purpose. He has no feud. The only feud he has is on Twitter with Summer Rae, who's gone making a movie. Seriously, what the fuck is the point of this guy? Give him something to do. If you want to put him on TV, give him something to do. Same with Dolph. Use these people. If you don't want to push them, use them for another purpose. Or just give him a fucking feud and let him duke it out. And I'll get to I'm actually kind of upset with this show. And I'll get to that at the end, but anyway, next up we got Rusev time, everybody. So Hacksaw Jim Duggan, take a moment for your ho, comes out and plugs Legend House, but he's interrupted by Lana and Rusev. This crowd actually apparently cares enough that Lana's bad mouthing the USA and talking up Vladimir Putin because they finally chant USA that I've finally fucking heard. So these fans actually cared, which is nice. I said, the gotta admit the WWE has a way of using political events quickly because they've completely repackaged Rusev. He's no longer Alexander Rusev, he's just Rusev. He's no longer from Bulgaria, he's from Russia. They've completely repackaged him. And they did it all in about a blah, blah, blah. They did it all in about a span of like 2 weeks. And it was completely just done. Even though somebody slipped and called him the Bulgarian Brute. I think it was Cole. I'm not sure if that's his nickname still, but he's not from Bulgaria anymore. So, but somebody did slip and call him the Bulgarian Brute. But anyway, he comes out. He looks like he's going to destroy. He actually takes Hacksaw's 2x4 and breaks it over his knee, which that 2x4 looked fucking thick. It was nasty looking. Does that. Big E comes out to make the save, so nothing happens to Duggan, but he gets super kicked out of the ring. And a lot of people are noticing this. Rusev really doesn't like black people. I don't know what it is about everybody that's been put in front of Rusev. With the exception of Sin Cara, all of his squashes on Raw have been black people. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, R-Truth, he super kicks Big E. Like I said, with the exception of Sin Cara, that is 4 black superstars that have all felt some form of wrath from Alexander Rusev. I'm hoping that they use this as an angle. I'm hoping they see this, that people are mentioning this on the internet and use it as an angle, because that would be great. People are talking about reforming the Nation of Domination. I don't know if they need to go that far, but they could definitely have a faction going of like Big E, Truth, Woods, and there was one more. I said 4. I don't remember the other one. Oh, Kofi. They could definitely do some kind of cool faction there. Maybe headed by Jim Duggan. That'd be fun. Next up, Damien Sandow versus Cody Rhodes. I guess Sandow had some kind of worked shoot where he interrupted a panel on the Raw pre-show and was doing his normal shtick. Worked shoots are okay, but I feel like done continually and consistently over time, they kind of devalue what you were going for. And they also blur the lines of kayfabe a lot, which is my problem with it. It's kind of like when Punk was doing pipe bombs. It was blurring lines, and a lot of people don't like that. They like a clean cut. I don't know. I don't mind it, but I guess he did that. So he was talking about that. He comes out to the ring. He snuck a microphone with him. He's doing a handcuffed motion now, where he says he's handcuffed by the management. So that's his thing. The Rhodes brothers come out. Cody, Sandy, then they cut Sandow off mid promo. Cody comes out. Not a bad match. These guys used to be tag partners, from what I'm told. I never watched them, but not a bad match. It was actually pretty good. I like Cody Rhodes, and I like Damien Sandow. So Rhodes wins off to disaster kick after Goldie kind of like inadvertently distracts the ref, and Cody rakes the eyes of Sandow and then hits the disaster kick. Again, if you want a guy to be heel, pardon me, my voice is a little rough. If you want a guy to be heel, have him do something more evil. Low blow the guy. That takes care of all of it. Because, and the thing is, the Rhodes brothers celebrated after this match. It wasn't like Goldie looked at him and waggled his finger at him. No, they celebrated. So that was the interesting thing. So Cody's getting more and more heel every week, but he actually got a win. I don't know if we'll see a Rhodes Brothers breakup. Apparently there's some stuff on SmackDown I need to cover, but at this point, my thinking with Goldust leaving, I guess he's signed up till SummerSlam. That was kind of what he wanted to do. I don't know if we're gonna see the Rhodes Brothers feud. He said he didn't want to do it, and they're building Cody kind of as the singles route. So I don't know if they're gonna see a Rhodes Brothers feud. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of build time for it. There still could be, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Wyatt's promoing. Bray says he finally knows what he needs to do to beat John Cena. Basically challenges John to a last man standing match at Payback. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Most because John's, of course, he's gonna accept. If they brought up the stipulation, of course they're gonna have the stipulation. So it's gonna be a last man standing match between Bray Wyatt and John Cena at Payback, and that's interesting. I'm glad he didn't challenge him to my quit match because those never go well. I'm trying to remember the last time John Cena was in a last man standing match. I remember he lost one when Kane chokeslammed him through a spotlight. But that was about it. I think he might have had a few more between then and now, but that was the last one I remember. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, and that's the thing. This is their chance where they don't have to have Bray Wyatt win this match. They just have to have John Cena go fucking psycho to win this match, and then Bray Wyatt can continue being Bray Wyatt. So we'll see how well this goes. All right, down to the main event. Got Roman Reigns versus Batista. Pretty good match. Power versus power. Not too bad. Not very long. Because, like as you would expect, brawl breaks out between everybody, and the ref calls for the bell. Stephanie sends the whole roster, about 10 guys, I think, down to the ring to keep the Shield from beating down Evolution. It looks like Evolution's got the upper hand. All the superstars have Roman held up while Triple H is going to hit it with a chair. Reigns somehow breaks free and spears Triple H. Then all the superstars jump back on Roman Reigns. Then Dean and Seth clear the ring with steel chairs. Dongo eats Dirty Deeds from Dean's. Axel gets the curb stomp from Seth Rollins. Slater eats the Superman punch. And Ryback gets the spear and the triple power bomb. And Shield standing tall against the Evolution as they were watching on the ramp. So, that was Raw. My overall feeling of the show, I'll get back to the Shield Evolution thing in a minute. But my overall feeling of Raw was this was the first Raw to make me really question the 3-hour runtime. If you've got 3 hours to fill, now granted, Daniel Bryan is hurt. And you can only do so much Shield Evolution, I guess. And John Cena and Bray Wyatt, Bray's been doing a lot more of the talking. It seemed like they moved Cena to other shows to like promote those other shows. Like Bray Wyatt says this on Raw with no response from John Cena. You want to see John Cena's response? Go watch Main Event or go watch SmackDown. It seems like they're really trying to push their other shows with moving stuff around, and I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, I really, really felt like this show was too long. Way too much filler that didn't go anywhere. Like Paige had her match with Alicia Fox. Okay, I'm okay with that. But then the Divas match over something that happened on Total Divas. Okay. That could have been replaced with anything else. There are a lot of guys in the back that could have come out and wrestled the match, simply just to wrestle a match. Yeah. Fandango and Ziggler. I don't think they're setting up a feud with Fandango and Ziggler. But Fandango still got that whole thing with Layla, and again, it was actually a Total Divas thing because they showed a shot or a small clip of Summer Rae making out with Fandango on Total Divas. So it was another Total Divas thing. We get it. You're doing a reality show with the hot chicks. We get it. But for fuck's sake, man. Purpose. I like things with purpose. Even if it's just a match to have a match. Let these guys get out and wrestle. Let these guys show off. We don't have any of that anymore, and I hate it. And like I said, this show felt like a lot of filler to me, and that sucks because I don't like it when I don't like when I'm sitting there watching something that I enjoy, and all of a sudden I'm going, "Fuck, this has gone on forever." You know, it just sucks. So hopefully they can trim the fat or do something to keep my attention, because it was just too much Total Divas. And I get it. That show, they've upped that show to continue making episodes. But for fuck's sake, man. Anyway, back to Evolution of the Shield. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen to Payback. I didn't expect this feud to really keep going, or maybe it would break off like Roman Reigns and Triple H would feud, and maybe that'll happen after Payback. But I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if Evolution's gonna go over on this one, which I think they might. There's rumors that it'll be a 6-man elimination match, so it actually probably will come down to Triple H and Roman Reigns, or Batista and Roman Reigns. But I don't know if Evolution goes over here or not. But yeah, so I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen at Payback. Like I said, I mean, it could split it off at that point after Payback. Evolution, I think I see Evolution most likely stealing it and kind of evening it up 1-1. So I kind of see that happening, but I don't know. But yeah, I was really not happy with Raw this week. It just felt really bare bones in terms of good content. With D-Bry on the shelf now for who knows how long. Shield and Cena and the Wyatts are gonna have to carry the show, even though they've kind of been carrying it anyway, because Bryan really hasn't been around much since WrestleMania. He's really only been here a little while, but it's getting more and more apparent that they don't have a lot of stuff set up right now. So hopefully they can fix that. So we're gonna cover SmackDown briefly. Once again, didn't watch it because apparently this week was just abysmal. Like I said, not because SmackDown's always sucky, just because SmackDown this week, sorry, lost my complete train of thought. Not because SmackDown always sucks, but because this week half the roster was gone. Shield were gone, Orton was gone, Bryan's injured, so and a bunch of other people were gone away on the overseas tour. So they really kind of had to do their best with what they had. So we'll cover SmackDown quickly. I'll kind of give a little tidbit after each thing. Apparently, John Cena comes out and cuts a promo that apparently was a classic John Cena comedy promo before he accepts Bray Wyatt's challenge to the Last Man Standing match. He ended by challenging any member of the Wyatt family. Bray appeared on screen and thanked him for helping him find a cure. I really wish John Cena would change the way he's approaching this feud, because it would make the feud so much better. I liked when he was in the cage before Extreme Rules and was questioning the WWE universe and kind of questioning himself. It gave this rivalry so much more impact and so much more, like, it felt more real. But with John Cena just being normal comedy John Cena, it just feels like any other John Cena feud, and it feels like it's going to end like any other John Cena feud, which sucks. El Torito pinned Heath Slater. That's been happening for weeks. They need to be on every show. Not the Los Matadores, but just El Torito. The dude's awesome. I feel like that rivalry kind of cooled off really quickly. They really kind of cooled off El Torito and Hornswoggle after Extreme Rules. They really kind of backed off on that. I don't know why. Nikki Bella defeated Natalya in a match with Eva Marie as a guest referee. I say that in almost complete monotone, just to tell you how much I hate this. We had a fucking rematch from a match on Raw. The only difference is we got Eva Marie as a special guest referee. I get the Divas need time. Like, you want the Divas to wrestle. That's what they're there to do. Besides look good. But you want them to wrestle. But goddamn, if you want SmackDown to be important, now, here we go. Before I go any further, and before I hear anything about how I shit on SmackDown all the time, if you want SmackDown to be important, it shouldn't just be a rehash of Raw. It shouldn't be the same Divas match we just watched with a completely out of the blue, no reason to be there special guest referee. It shouldn't be weird pairings just to have matches. It should be its own show. Now, granted, I think I blame the brand split. Without the brand split, there's no pressure to put SmackDown up on a pedestal. SmackDown just becomes Raw's leftovers, pretty much. So, that's why I'm not a big fan of SmackDown. That's why I don't sit down and spend 2 hours of my life watching SmackDown every week. I would much rather, grab a report off the internet and relay it to you guys and give you guys my opinions about it, because it's just SmackDown hasn't proven to me that it should be watched. It's not like Raw, even though Raw fucking seriously suffered this week. So that happened. Dolph cuts a promo about facing Batista, and from what I see, this is actually a good match. People said it was a really good match. Dolph Ziggler actually might be getting might be getting some form of push. If somebody knock on wood just in case, but Ziggler might be getting some kind of push, which would be awesome. I'd love to see that. The match comes to an end when Batista low blows Ziggler, giving Ziggler the win. Batista then beats Ziggler down. Low blow for the win. Classic heel. Good thing for Batista to kind of garner that kind of heat. Sheamus beats Titus O'Neil. O'Neil cut a promo before the match making fun of Sheamus. I guess they are postponing Sheamus' heel turn until Bryan comes back. So he's going to be face, continue to be face until Bryan comes back. I thought it was kind of curious that Sheamus came out and took on Ryback as the face of the match. And because a lot of people talked about, Sheamus is going to turn heel. Sheamus is going to turn heel. But now because of Bryan's injury, they're postponing that heel turn. So that's kind of interesting. Santino beat Damien Sandow. After the match, Sandow cut a promo insinuating that he was being handcuffed and held back by management, continuing that thing. Microphone was cut off and Sandow walked out. So yeah, they're really playing up the work shoots, the I'm being held back. I could see this turning into almost like a Nexus type deal, where Damien Sandow kind of is the voice of all those superstars who we would consider buried right now, like him and Ziggler and Ryder and Fandango and all those guys that are kind of popular with the people, but just haven't really gone anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised. We could see something like that. That'd be kind of interesting. Kind of like almost like a voice for the voiceless kind of deal. Although that does kind of follow CM Punk, but it'd be interesting to see almost like a reformation of the Job Squad, but in a more literal sense. Like, we are the guys who are coming out here getting our asses kicked night in and night out, and we're not advancing anywhere. This is bullshit. That'd be kind of interesting. Fucking somebody call Triple H. Cesaro beats up on R-Truth, and Cena takes on Eric Rowan and pins him. Second show in a row, Cena pinned Eric Rowan. Interesting. Cesaro fighting R-Truth. Weird matchup. Him and Sheamus actually, I guess, had a pretty brutal match at Main Event on Tuesday. I missed that, sadly. But I guess it was pretty good. But yeah, they're really confused, and that's the thing. So, and that's basically SmackDown. So now I'm just going to go into the freeform potion for a few minutes, and then the show will be over. So, excuse my chair. That's the thing. It seems like they have a lot of talent, but they don't know what to do with all of it. Cesaro's kind of trapped in this weird feud with RVD that's not really going anywhere. He's with Heyman, and Heyman has definitely elevated Cesaro, but at the same time, they almost started too late with Cesaro being heel, because he was still kind of face after winning the Memorial Battle Royal. My apologies. So it just doesn't seem like they know what to do with all of it. You know, because you got the Shield and Evolution; those guys are booked perfectly. Kane and Daniel Bryan was not, but that's gone for now. Cena and Bray Wyatt, it could be better, but it's still interesting. But besides that, you don't have anything else. Bad News Barrett, we haven't seen Barrett in a week, either on Raw or SmackDown. I don't know if he gone. I'm not sure. We haven't seen Barrett. Sheamus actually has been pretty good. He's around. They need to give Sheamus something to do. Really give him something to do. Like give him a feud, give him a rivalry, give him somebody to battle against. Because you put the United States title on him for a reason. So let's give him something to do. If you want to re-legitimize that title, you've got to start by doing something. You know? Same with Barrett. What the fuck's Barrett doing now? He's not feuding with anybody. He had his rematch with Big E, and that was it. He's been gone. So I don't know if they're actually trying to take steps to re-legitimize the mid card titles, then they need to do so, because they're just gonna be back in the same position they were a couple months ago, with Big E being absolutely in obscurity with the IC title, and people barely remembering that Dean Ambrose actually had the United States title. But that was more of an overshadowing thing more than Dean Ambrose being irrelevant. Dean Ambrose was definitely not irrelevant, but how over the Shield was really overshadowed the fact that he was the champion. Also, they need to figure out what the fuck they're doing with the tag belts, because, like I said, they've stopped Ryback's push. The Rhodes brothers are breaking up. A lot of people speculate that Eric Rowan and Luke Harper could be next in line for the tag titles. They could be the Usos' next feud, which would be cool. It would definitely be a step in the right direction for the Wyatt feud, and it would fuel Bray and John Cena, because Bray could draw on the fact that, look at this, my boys have taken the gold. They have look at this. Our message will reach further now because we have the titles, So not only would it most likely elevate the Usos and elevate Rowan and Harper, it would elevate John Cena and Bray Wyatt's feud even more, because it would give something more to Bray to work off of, which, that's good. So, all in all, I don't know. I'm not exactly looking forward to Payback. I am looking forward to the Last Man Standing match. And I am looking forward to the Evolution Shield rematch. And sadly, that's it. Like, those are the only two matches you can cite. Maybe you could probably say Alicia Fox and Paige for the Divas title, but that really hasn't been confirmed or really even talked about. So really, you got a pay-per-view coming up in 2 weeks, and you have 2 matches booked. And really, anything else that gets thrown together is going to be haphazard and ugly. This has been a really rough month for WWE. They did just re-sign their TV deal, but it was not as much as they thought it was going to be, and stock has started to plummet. It's been a really rough month. Hopefully we recover. Well, guys, this has been another episode of the Players Code Talks Wrestling. I appreciate you listening in. I appreciate your comments if you leave any. Please leave those comments, and subscribe. Check out all our other stuff if you like video games and just people being asshats in commentary. Got a lot of stuff coming up. Excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.